welcome to another live episode. So today we're talking about business, we're talking about finances, and anyone who knows me, you would know that I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner. So I absolutely love talking about business as much as I love giving live advice and lifestyle. I also really love talking about business based on my own personal experience. Now, what I'm about to share is something that I did because I'm talking about how to start an online business without cash. Some major things you should know before watching this live. I'm based in Nigeria. I started this online business in 2019, right? So I'm just sharing my experience, and I believe that those methods are still applicable today. So it depends on what country you're watching from, and what is available in your particular area, right? But this is something that is very possible here in Nigeria. It's a system that I did then. It worked for me, and then I graduated into doing other things. But it's a system that I see people still applying to, people still making use of it now, right? This is 2025. So this is 6 years later, and people are still making use of this structure. People are still making use of this system to start their online businesses, and the businesses eventually become successful businesses, right? It's just a procedure, right? It's a system. It's not something that you have to do forever. But if you're starting out, let's say for example you've never done business before and you don't have a lot of capital to put into starting a business now, a product based business to be specific, then this formula would be really good for you. It's tested and it's trusted by hundreds of thousands of people have used the structure, they've used the system, and it has really worked for them. So I just want to share my own experience so that you can learn something from it, and it's something that you can also try. It might work for you. So in 2019, that it was not my first time doing business. I had done other types of businesses before. Yeah, I sold clothes, I had sold skincare, but in 2019 was the first business that I had that I could say was successful to an extent, right? So in 2019, I was looking at what other business can I start. I was in university, in college. It was my final year in college. I was graduating in a few months, and I didn't have any source of income. Basically, my parents were still sending me monthly allowances, right? So I didn't have any source of income, and I'd done business before, so I knew that I had what it took. I had the skills, right? I was good at sales. I could sell, right? I had done a bit of online business before, so I knew how to maneuver the online space. So I was scrolling through Instagram, to be specific. It was on social media platform Instagram. I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw this lady that sold makeup products, right? Makeup products such as eyelashes, eyeshadow, face powder, basically women beauty products. And an idea came to mind that I don't have the money. I'm just a student. As at 6 years ago, I was a student. I don't have the capital to buy these products in bulk to resell. But if I'm going to be selling online, what do you need to sell online? Like for a product-based business, what do you need to sell online? Majorly you need to post footage of the product. I mean pictures and videos of the product that you intend to sell, right? So I just thought about it that I don't have the cash in hand, but I have a page, right? I already have an Instagram page where I can sell to my audience, right? So I can, if I can get videos and pictures from this lady, I can post on the page. And then anybody who is interested in the product, when they reach out to me, I can reach out to the lady. So this was how the system was going to go, right? She would send me pictures and videos of the products. I would post it on my Instagram page. Then anybody that showed interest in that product, let's say for example they were going to pay me 5,000, and the original cost of the product that the woman was giving to me was 3,500, right? So if they pay me 5,000, right, I would take out my 1,500 profit and give the 3,500 to the lady. Then the lady would deliver directly to the person that brought the product, right? Of course, the consumer, the receiver, the customer, the client is going to pay for the delivery of the product. they are going to pay for the logistics, right? The only money they are sending to me is, the money for the product. And of course, if the lady gives me the products for, let's say, 1,000, I want to sell the products for like 2,000, so that I can be able to, take out my profits. And also the profits can be able to cover other little expenses. As at 2019, we did not have inflation as much as we had now, and money was very valuable. So even if I made 1,000, 1,005 as profits, I could still use the money to do a lot of things, right? I could be able to buy data, I could be able to, pay for adverts and other little things. And I still even had money that I could use to take care of myself, depending on the sales. So I saw the woman online, and just seeing her online posting about her makeup products, I was not sure that she was going to agree to what I was going to say. But you know what they say about lives: if you never try, you would never know. And if you never ask questions, it will always be no, right? So you have to ask questions. So I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and ask Bamidele Peter. Thank you too. You're welcome. So I was like, let me just go ahead and ask her if she can be sending me pictures and videos of her products, so I can be posting on my own page. Then anybody that wants to buy that product, I just explained to her what I was thinking, the format that I was thinking, that I would send her, I would add my own profits, send her the major money, and she would deliver directly to the customer, while I keep my own profits in between. And she agreed. Like, I didn't even know or think that she would agree. I didn't think the process was going to work, but I was a student, I was a little desperate. I wanted to earn money, but I didn't have any cash to buy products. And the school that I attended, it was a private university. You can't just go and come back as you please. I lived on campus, so I was living within the school premises. And if you wanted to leave the school premises, you had to take permission, right? We were given like exit cards. So that was a long process for me to physically perform the business transactions by myself. So I was just like a middleman. That's what I was. The woman had the product, she had the resources to deliver, right? So I was just a middleman, because I did not have cash to buy products. Neither did I have the freedom of movement to move around, right? So everything was strictly online. I went to classes, I did my day-to-day life, I did everything normally. The only difference was that I was online interacting with customers. I was the link between the customers and the woman that stocked this product. She probably had like 2,000 products in her shop, and then there was a customer who needed what the woman had, but they didn't know her. But then there comes me, the middleman. Okay, I know the customer, I know the person that has the product, right? So I'm the link between the both of them. Okay, comments from Bamidele Peter. He said, I like this little orientation. Thank you so much. I'm just sharing my experience. I'm still struggling to make my business recognized online. This is going a long way. Okay, yeah, everything happens in process, one step after the other. So I started to do it that way, right? So I started to earn little money. Now let me just talk about the challenges, because you might feel like everything is rosy, everything is not rosy, right? Even now, I no longer now that time has passed. It was 6 years ago that I'm sharing my experience. Now I have my own product. Now I manufacture. I don't buy to sell. I'm into production now, so I manufacture, right? But let me just finish the story. So one of the challenges that I encountered then was that if you have an online business, you would know that one of the biggest challenges that you will face is trust, right? Because these customers, they don't know you. They have never seen you before. And they don't know that, or they are not sure that if they send you money, you would deliver. So trust is one of the biggest issues online. Okay, and you have to, the solution is to structure your page in such a way that the customers will believe that you are authentic. That's one of the major solutions. To structure your page in such a way that the customers will believe that you are authentic. And so I think 6 years ago, it would have been a lot easier to collect pictures and videos from someone that you have never even met. For me personally, I had never met this lady that I did the transaction with, that I bought the products from. I have never met, even till now. We did that for, let me say, almost a year, and I never met her in real life. A year, or let me say 9 months, but I never met her in real life at all. Right? So, but I just trusted her that she would deliver. Actually, like, that's one thing in life. Sometimes you need to go out with blind trust. You will never have all the facts 100% correct, but sometimes you just need to trust your instincts and go right ahead and do what needs to be done. Bamidele Peter said, what time do you always go live so I can always join you? For now, because of how my schedule is, I don't have a particular time that I go live. But if I'm free during the day, like today, I go live in the afternoon. But most times I go live by midnight because that's when I'm very free. I'm back from work. I have time. So most times it's usually in the midnight between let me say 10 to 1 a.m. But on days that I don't go out to work, maybe I'm working from home or I have time, I go live during the day. But for now, I cannot really give you a specific time that I go live. So back to the discussion, trust. And sometimes customers will not trust you. You have to structure your page in such a way that once they come to your page, they are going to feel like, okay, yes, this person makes these videos themselves, this person takes these pictures themselves. Which is why today you see a lot of vendors that advertise their products by themselves. If you're selling clothes, they model the clothes. If you're into real estate, they stand there and make a video talking about the properties, right? Today vendors just try to do something for the audience watching to see that they are real, they are human beings, and they are authentic. But 6 years ago, you didn't really need to do that, honestly. 6 years ago, as long as you posted a picture, you posted a video, and customers interacted with you in the DM, they would believe you. And other things you can do for trust is you can hop on a phone call with the customer. Like me now, whenever my customers call, I'm always available. Sometimes when we are discussing, I send voice notes, right? So but as at then, when I was doing the online business that I started with no money, the little things you can do is like video chats, voice calls, just interacting with the customer in such a way that they feel that you are authentic. Another challenge I faced was running adverts, right? Then running adverts was even a bit cheaper, but now it's more expensive. Whatever social media platform that you're selling on, I majorly sold on Instagram. On Instagram, you have to run adverts. You cannot just post your videos, post your pictures, make your content, and sit down waiting that customers will magically appear. No, you forget that there are over 1,000 other people. No matter how unique what you're doing is, there are over 1,000 other people that do that same thing that you do, which is fact. Just know that people don't buy from who is the best at doing that thing. They buy from who they know. There are sometimes you have even used someone's services not because they had the best service, but because they were the only person that you could find that did that thing. People will always use who is available and who they know. Even if the electrician is not that good at doing his work, because he's the only electrician around, or he's the only electrician that you know in your streets, you will still call that man to check for you because that's the person that you know, even though he's not the best at what he does. So one major thing about selling online is you need to have an online presence. People need to see you consistently. I think that consistently thing is very important. There are people that have told me that they were watching me for about a year before they finally decided to buy from me, or they've been following my page for about 6 months before they finally decided to send a DM or to send a message, right? So you have to show up consistently, and no matter how consistently you show up, you also need to run adverts so that more people can see you. You can reach more people, right? If you post like your normal pictures, your normal videos, let's say you reach 100 people, but if you pay Instagram to boost your post, in a day you can reach, let me say, 1,500 people. Now if you're talking to 100 people, 10 people might show interest and one person might make a purchase, right? But if you're talking to 1,000 people, 50 people might show interest and 4 people might make a purchase. Like, I'm just giving you realistic numbers. If you reach 1,000 people, 4 people might purchase, or maybe even 2 people might purchase. Those are realistic numbers in business, right? So the more people you reach, the higher your chance of making a sale. That's just how the arithmetic works. The more people you reach, the higher your chance of making a sale. So before, if you've been talking to 20 people in a day and nobody has been making purchase, it's not that your product is not good, or it's not that they don't like what you do, or you're not doing enough. The issue is that not a lot of people are seeing you. You're not in contact with a lot of people that's enough for you to make a sale. Just imagine you spoke to 20 people in a day, right, as compared to if you are speaking to 50 people in a day. There are some people that they don't even do online, like they need to close the deals on a phone call. So if you're making 5 phone calls in a day and none of them are coming through, then increase the phone calls you're making in a day. Increase it to 20, increase it to 30. The more people you speak to, the higher your chances of making a sale. That's just how the arithmetic goes. So if you're on a platform like Instagram now, for example, let's say you're reaching 10,000 people in a day, or you're reaching 20,000 people in a day, you have a higher chance of making a sale. Okay, like no matter how terrible your product is or anything, The more people you reach, the more people that know about you, the higher your chances of making a sale. That's like a general formula. So that's one of the challenges that I faced when I was starting, like trust, building trust between myself and customers, between the business and customers, and always paying for adverts. There will come a time that adverts will be expensive, but I didn't have a choice. Definitely I knew that I needed to reach people, and I know that my competitors are not sleeping, right? My competitors are running ads. So as much as they are showing themselves to their audience, I also have to be showing myself to my audience. So even sometimes I will not make a post, but because I'm running adverts and people can see me, they will still send a message. Oh, I saw this thing, I like it, can I get it, can I buy it, when can you deliver, how soon can you deliver? Okay. Now another thing that like that was when I started going into business 6 years ago. One thing that was a shock to me, like one thing that really got to me, is that sometimes business is not consistent. The cash flow, the sales is not consistent, right? And anybody that does business will tell you this. No matter how many years they have been in business, all months will not be the same, all weeks will not be the same. There are certain weeks that you can make maybe 100K, and there are other weeks that you might make just 500 naira, $500, or any currency that you use, right? So all weeks are not the same. There's like, to this week it might be up, this other week it might be down. Even if your strategies remain the same, like let's say you continue to run the same amount of ads, maybe you're reaching 20,000 people every day, the frequency at which you get sales, the frequency at which customers are reaching out across to you, the frequency of everything will not be the same, no matter if your output is the same, right? You can be posting many times in a day, you can be reaching many customers in a day, but what you're receiving will definitely not be the same. You, like, this week you might make a lot of sales, but the next week you will not make a lot of sales. So this is what, like, that period, this is what it taught me, that I always need to have savings, right? Because in the week where you are not making as much sales as you should, the business expenses remain the same. So you need to have money that you have kept to be able to run the business where you are not making cash flow. Like when there's no cash flow, right, you're not making sales at that time because customers are not reaching out across to you, but the business expenses remain the same. You still need to be online. It's not cheap to be online, like 24/7. In fact, even if a customer messages you at 2 a.m., you need to be able to respond. That's that. I'm still getting to that part, right? Even if customers message you, no matter the time, you need to be there to respond, because if you don't respond immediately, the customer can change their mind. And don't forget, customers don't owe you anything. Even me as a customer, if I want something urgently, let's say I want to buy a new blender for the kitchen and I want to shop online, I'm going to message about 3 vendors at the same time. So it is whoever replies to me on time, it is whoever I like the price, it is whoever is more friendly, right? These are the people that's the person I'm going to buy from. I'm not going to buy from all 3 of them, but I'm going to message the 3 of them at the same time. So prompt response is very important in business. You need to be able to respond to your customers on time. There are some vendors that you can message them now, you may not get a response in 4 hours, 4 good hours. In 4 hours, your customer has messaged another brand and they have bought what they need to buy. Bamidele Peter said, yeah, just like discipline, pastry production is highly competitive. My dear, pastry production is highly competitive, and it's the same for all businesses actually. Even people that sell clothes, everybody is selling clothes. If you turn to your left, someone is into fashion. If you turn to your right, someone is into fashion. And every blessed day, more people keep going into fashion. So the competition is really high. You have to do the best that you can, honestly. You have to be the best that you can. Like, there's no room for you to like just be lazy or complacent or not give it your best shot. There's no room for that. In fact, I know even in real life, I know many people that bake. I know many people that fry chin chin, fry pop pop. Not talk of online. Everybody makes cakes. Everybody is a chef now. Okay, so this goes in line with brand. Yes, branding is actually very important. But the thing is, when I started, like, business comes in stages, right? So at the beginning part of the business, when you're starting, it depends on how you want to run your business. But if you're starting a business without money and you are at the beginning stages, for me, branding is not the most important thing at that moment. Okay, what should come first is your cash flow. You need to be making sales before you can start talking about branding. I know people that when they wanted to start a business, they rushed and did stickers, they rushed and did nylon bags, they rushed and did logo, they did this, they did that. At the end of the day, you do all these things, you spend all the money, you do all these things, you put them in place, and you don't have a single customer. Like, your business is not your logo, your business is not your paper bag, your business is not this and that. Your business, first of all, for you to even have a business, you need to have customers. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business, basically. So if you're just starting out, you don't have a lot of money to spare, you don't have staff either. Because if you're starting out without money, it means that you don't have staff, you are the only person in the business. So what is most important to you at that moment is to have customers. Okay, there are brands that I bought from consistently, there are brands that I know they sell out a lot and they don't even have a branded paper bag. When customers buy stuff, they put it inside plain nylon and deliver to them, and they're still making sales. So I think sales should come before the fancy packaging. Sales should come before what is your vision statement. Like, you can have your vision statement in mind as the founder, as the owner. You can have your vision statement, your mission statement in mind. But for me, I don't think those things are very necessary in the beginning, right? The moment you have customer, in fact, many people that start up doing branding first, by the time they start to have customers, the business takes a different direction. Because don't forget that you are here to serve your customers. Okay, even that makeup business, when I started the makeup business, I thought I was going to go all in into selling makeup tools completely, but I ended up selling more of like ring lights, like gadgets, because those were what my customers requested more of, and the profit margin in that aspect was higher. I sold more of ring lights, tripod stands, like phone holders, things like that. So what I'm trying to say is that when you start the business based on what your customers are demanding for more, your business might take a different direction, which is why I don't think it's necessary to do branding before you have customers, right? Because your customers are the lifeline of your business and they are very important. You cannot say, oh, for example, now if you're into pastry and your customers request more of let me say they buy more of chin chin than they buy more of any other thing that you bake, like cupcakes, normal cakes, and anything like that they buy. But and you personally, you want more of that baked goods. Okay, but you're not going to do that because you have to listen to what your customers want. Okay, you have to listen to what your customers are demanding for. And so that's why I really think, for so many reasons that I can't even think of everything right now, for someone who's just starting out newly, it is better to focus more on having sales before you do your branding, your packaging, and all of that. The moment you have customers, the moment you have sales, the moment you have steady cash flow, any other thing can come into place. That's the truth. The moment, like, how do you scale? When people talk about scale, you cannot scale if you don't have customers, because who is buying? I think some certain level of growth, expansion, and scale is for businesses that already have paying customers. You already have buying customers. But you cannot want to expand, you cannot want to scale when no one is buying your products. Okay? You need to be doing something that people already want before you can be thinking about expansion. So if people don't already want what you're doing, then there are other problems that need to be fixed before you even talk of expansion, before you talk of growth. Most people feel like if I expand, the customers will come. No, if customers come, then you can expand. That's actually how it works. Most businesses that I've even seen that they have scaled is because it comes to a point in your business where demand becomes more than supply. That's when you know that, okay, I'm due for growth, because now you can no longer meet with the demand that you have on a daily. Like, before you used to struggle to get 3 customers in a day. Now you are getting 50 customers in a day and you are overwhelmed. So now you have to employ maybe 10 more staff. You have to move to a bigger location. You have to get bigger equipment. You have to do this, you have to do that, because the demand now is more than what you can manage at a small level. So that's how growth comes, right? So in the beginning stages, once you have hacked sales, for me, I think you have hacked the business thing. There are some people that make sales and they don't even have like anything aesthetic about their business. It's because they are selling something or offering a service that people want, and they are doing it very well. So even if there's no packaging about your business, as long as you are meeting customer demands, they will keep coming back. That's the honest truth. I feel like sometimes business owners mix it up. They put aesthetics before, proper customer service. If you're offering a service or you're offering a product that people want and you're offering it very well, your customers will keep coming back to you, even if you're not packaging well, even if you're not branding well or whatever. So it's by the time you have like a wide range of customers, even your customers begin to tell you that, okay, maybe you can do this better, you can do that better, then you can start to seek advice and all of that, then you can package your business better to, a better way. But if you don't have sales, you don't even have a business. No matter how packaged, no matter how fine, no matter how well put together your business or your brand is, if you don't have clients, you don't have customers, then your aesthetics are just, they are just that, aesthetics without cash flow. Okay, so how do you keep the business afloat? How do you pay monthly bills? How do you pay staff? How do you pay for other things that you have invested in that you don't even need yet? There was a time in my business that I got a website. Okay, after the 1 year website fee expired, I never renewed it, and that was when I realized that I don't even need a website at this level. I don't need a website because, like I said earlier, right now I'm into production. Okay, most of my customers or clients that come to me, they want the furniture specified to their taste, so they don't want to buy what is already made. They want me to make it to suit them, and they're not going to shop on the website because they need to talk to someone one-on-one. Okay, it's not something that a robot or like a system can replace. They need to talk to a person one-on-one that is going to guide them through, the process, them telling them what they want and all of that. So I didn't need a website as when I got it like 2 years ago. I didn't need it. So sometimes we do some certain things because maybe we see other business owners doing it. Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Is your brother around?
No, he's not.
Okay, you are the only one around.
Yes, please. Any problem?
There's something I wanted to show you.
Okay, is it urgent or can he wait? Okay, thank you very much.
The dog, yeah?
Ma?
The dog, I'm left.
No.
It's not the compound.
Yeah, it's in the next compound. Get out to me, ma. Okay, yeah, but beside the online presence, customers that know your location, the level of competition in business now is taking the product for distribution, which also expand the business. Okay, let me read that again. Beside the online presence, customers that know your location, the level of competition in business now is taking the product for distribution, which also expand the business. Okay, so Bamidele, I think what you're trying to say is that sending your items to, please just listen to me and clarify if I'm on the right path. What you're trying to say is that distributing your pastries to other locations is a challenge that you're facing now. Is that right? Please just help me clarify if that's what you're trying to ask. That there is competition in distribution. Of course, distributing your product expands the business, and you're saying there's competition in that aspect. Now, let me tell you something. I told you before that I used to sell makeup products, right? Let me just tell you one of the reasons why I moved from that to the business that I do now. Now, when I was selling makeup products, I'm currently in Abuja, in Nigeria, right? When I was selling makeup products, people that were not in Abuja did not need my products. Why? Because makeup products you can buy from anywhere. Okay, there are so many makeup vendors in Lagos, so Lagos people did not see a need to buy from me in Abuja. Though I did have a lot of sales in Abuja, but I felt limited by location because only the people here wanted to buy from me, right? But now that I'm doing something unique, I'm doing something different, something that I produce that you cannot see like just anywhere, right? I sell to people in Abuja, I sell to people in Lagos, I sell to people all around because it's something that they cannot find within their vicinity. Now, if even like, let me just ask a question for pastries. The thing about pastries is that, based on what I know, rarely do people, like if you want to send it interstate, rarely do people buy pastries to be sent from one state to the other. because it's something that is fragile, right? And it's something that you would prefer someone in your locality to do it for you, just because it's closer. You want to get it fresh, you don't want it to, smudge on the way or anything like that. So for pastries is something that I know that people buy from people that do it closer to them. It's not something that they can send interstate. But even at that, for pastries, I don't think it's something that should I don't think that should be a what's that word? I don't think that should be a limitation for you, because pastries are in high demand, right? Pastries are in high demand. I think in whatever location that you are in, there are at least 1,000 people that need your services. So I think there are some businesses that you need to focus more on your locality, like pastries, right? Because it's food is fragile. Okay, it's like people that do catering, right? Like every weekend they are booked and busy, and they are booked and busy from people that are around them, right? There are people in your locality that definitely need your services. So I think you can focus more on advertising to the people around. It's like dominating a particular place. There are some places that if you go there, there's one popular caterer that they know there. Okay, so that's that woman's domain. For another caterer to come from outside and compete with that woman will be really difficult, because everybody knows her. So the truth is that the global stage is not for everybody. That's like the harsh truth. There are some people that will make a name for themselves locally. So anytime anybody visits or comes outside to that place, they're going to say this is the best person that is the best at what they do here. So you need to ask yourself, even in just this state, in fact, even going by the state is too far. Let's say, for example, you're in Lagos. So even in Lekki, are you the best pastry person in Lekki? Like, you're not even going far now. Like, just in your locality, in Lekki or in Yaba, or wherever, like just your locality, are you the best there? Whenever they want to call anybody that does catering or that is into baking or anything, are you the one they're going to call? Are you the most known? Are you the best known in your locality there, right? So there are certain limitations that are not really limitations for us, but just because we everybody wants to be on the global stage, actually, like I said earlier. But me, I feel like there are some certain things that if you conquer it locally, you have conquered it globally. That's the truth. Because say, for example, you are the best pastry person in Lekki, but do you know how many functions happen every weekend? Do you know how many people are doing birthdays, weddings, this and that every blessed weekend? Like, if you are the best person in one locality, you will be booked and busy, so you will not even be bothering so much about the global stage, and the global stage will come to you. That is the truth. Hi, Timileyin Faswan, welcome to the live. The global stage would come to you. Just imagine someone in, like, maybe she's getting married and her people from overseas, they come around and she says, oh, the caterer doing my wedding, or the person making my wedding cake, this person is this person, and they're like, oh wow. So now even people from overseas know you because of how excellent you are at what you do. So I think one of the things we should strive for majorly is excellence. Once you're really good at what you do, people will discover you from all over. And before you want to conquer the global stage, you need to first conquer your location. That's what I think. I think if you're the best at what you do in your locality, then you have also conquered the global stage, because in your locality, there's no how you will not have at least 500 people there that are interested in what you do. And so if you sell online, don't give up on your advertising, don't give up on your content, right? You're advertising your content. There are so many people that I see online, especially in this catering. I'm just majoring on catering and baking, because you said that's your field. In catering and baking, there are so many caterers, bakers that I've seen online that I have told myself, whenever I visit their location, I'm definitely going to patronize them. Okay, I know I cannot buy it from where I am and have them send it to me because of distance and all of that, but whenever I visit their location, I'm definitely going to order from them, or I'm going to go to their restaurants or just anything like that, because because of their online presence, I know them. Okay. And another thing is that Timileyin said, I want to launch an app soon. I need marketers. Okay, I think that's something that I will revisit. For now, I don't really know anyone that's into marketing. It's not my field, but that's something we can still discuss um going forward. So Bamidele, I hope I've been able to throw a little light on the question that you asked. I hope I've been able to either give you a new idea or a new suggestion. I hope I've just been able to help you in a little way that I can. Yeah, so before I diverted, I was talking about the challenges that I faced when I started an online business. Yes, another challenge that I faced, yeah, when I was doing that makeup business was that the lady was in Lagos and I was in Abuja. So buying items from Lagos and shipping it all the way to where I am became an issue because of the timeline, right? Customers, if they buy something today, they want it that same day, right? So timeline is actually really an issue. Yes, and as being a beginner in business then 6 years ago, I didn't know how to manage it, right? Also, shipping costs were quite high. You buy something from Lagos, you pay a lot to have it delivered to you in Abuja, and then like it was really costly. The logistics of it all, which is something that I think every business encounters, every business person experiences it. Like logistics is not cheap. Even now, like in my current business, I still pay a lot on logistics. Okay, and then pricing. It took me a while to really settle myself on pricing. Right, it took me a while to really know like how much was I making, how much was I spending on adverts, how much was I spending on logistics. At the end of the day, was I really making any money? Like I don't want to be overpriced because there are a lot of people that also sell what I sell. At the same time, I don't want to be underpriced. At the same time, I realized that I cannot be the cheapest person in the market, right? Okay, Bamidele Peter, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. You can always replay the live anytime, and hope to see you some other time. Take care of yourself. Bye. So yeah, as I was saying, I know that I cannot be the cheapest person in the market, but at the same time, I'm not the most expensive. So the sweet spot is knowing your audience, knowing your customers, and sticking with them. There are some people that they don't want to buy the cheapest thing in the market, but at the same time, they cannot afford the most expensive thing. So they're just looking for something that is averagely priced. That's where you can fix yourself. I mean, I never advise entrepreneurs to be the cheapest in the market, but some people really like it because that's their field. If you are the cheapest, you might get a lot of customers, right? You might not get quality customers and you might not make a lot of money, but you get cash flow every day. I think that's what they really bank on. Being the cheapest in the market is like consistent cash flow because everybody wants to save money, so there are people that tend to buy from the cheapest source, right? And if you're the most expensive in the market, it's like a huge profit margin, right? So for every sale that you make reasonable profits, right? And you tend to deal with luxury customers, like customers that have extra money to spend, customers that don't mind going through the extra mile, customers that will not stress you, customers that are more patient. Like you deal with the elite. There are some people that they will never sell cheap things. They would only sell things that are pricey, because the kind of customers that you have when you sell pricey things is not the same customers that you have when you want to sell like the cheapest of the cheapest things. So if you're a business owner in business, or you're a business owner about to go into business, these are some of the things you should consider. In fashion, there are some people that sell like cheap fashion things, and there's some people that sell really expensive fashion things. The customers are not the same. The mentality and orientation of the customers on these two ends are not the same. If the same person that wants to buy like the cheapest thing, if they want to buy something that is most expensive, they save their money for it, right? They keep money. You hear people say, oh, I'm saving to buy that cloth that I saw, I'm saving to buy that fancy shoe, I'm saving to buy a really expensive car. Okay, so people, and the way people approach people that sell like really luxury things is different from the way they approach people that sell the cheapest thing on the market. And that's fact. So you as a business person, you as an entrepreneur, you want to know where you come in the market. Are you the cheapest? Are you the most expensive? Or do you just want to be in that average line, right? You have to think about it, and you have to know the advantages and disadvantages of wherever it is that you choose to fix yourself in. So starting an online business in 2019, I think I ran that model for about 2 years. Okay, I'm just saying, if you don't have money, um Similarly said, please, what's your course of study? You didn't respond to my last business offer of helping me out with advice for my business. Okay, I don't think I saw it. Um, what advice do you need, please? I don't think I saw it. Um, I don't think I saw your last business offer. If you can please just type it out again. I don't think I saw it actually. I wouldn't intentionally ignore you or ignore anybody that asks anything. I'm here to help. I'm here to assist in any way that I can. So you can ask me again, please. I will definitely respond to it to the best way that I can. What's my course of study? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. So I just like to share my experience, right? Because it's something I've been doing for a while, and I realized that now there's many people in business that might need the knowledge that I have, or might need help on some certain things, and I can offer help. I can offer advice here. So that's just what I try to do sometimes. So yeah, moving on. I was talking about the challenges that I faced um, when I started my online business. I think I've mentioned a lot of them. I've talked about trust, I've talked about advertisements, I've talked about good and bad seasons, I've talked about pricing, I've talked about logistics. Okay, that's 5 of them. So I think this 5 is okay for this slide. These are some of the 5 challenges that I faced when I started my online business, that I started without having any money. And I explained how I started it without money. And the thing is, if I didn't have the cash to give, I made up for it in time and research, right? My energy. That's what they say. If you're young, you have your energy, but you don't have money. Like you have time and energy, but you don't have money. So if you don't have money, you must be willing to put your time and energy into that thing. That's honest truth. You must be willing to do your research. Like if you cannot buy courses, you must be willing to like sit down and do your research, watch YouTube videos, browse online. Google is your friend, YouTube is your friend. Like read whatever material that is available to you. Like you must search, like overnight you would search and you would search and you would search to find that answer that you're looking for, because you can't pay for courses. The truth is that whatever course you're paying for, the information is online for free. It's just that you're lazy. That's why you rather pay someone to tell you what is online for free, right? But if you're willing to sit down and do your research, you can actually find these things online as well. So if you don't have any money to spend, you must have time. Like you don't have money, you must be willing to work hard. That's the honest truth. If you don't have money, you must be willing to work hard, you must be willing to be disciplined, you must be willing to be consistent, resilient. Like you must possess all the qualities, like just so you can make it, okay? Timilein said, I have a digital company and I need a lot of information to bring it out. Okay, what type of information do you need, please? If you can be a little more specific, I think it will be better. Yeah, I need a lot of information. What kind of information do you need? And how can I assist you? How can I help? Like, what do you need advice on? What do you want me to talk about? Like, what do you want us to discuss? Okay, what is the pain point exactly? Because you're being very vague right now. So I would need a little more information before I can give you any advice or anything else. So like I was saying, if you're starting an online business without money, it's going to be tough. If you feel like it's going to just be easy, then you are making a very big mistake. Okay, you are making a wrong assumption, because it is going to be tough. Like there's many challenges along the way, especially for first-time business owners. As a first-time business owners, you don't understand how customers think. You don't understand how customers react. So you need to be patient and you need to be ready to learn along the way. That's it. Because you're learning about your customers along the way. You're learning about your business along the way. You're learning about staff. And like the first time I started to hire staff, there was a lot of things I didn't know, because I had never hired. In fact, I didn't even know how to hire. I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know what I expected. So I ended up hiring wrongly. Okay, I guess we'll talk about that in another live. But starting an online business without money is very possible, but it's not easy. You need to be dedicated, and even though bad times come, challenges come, it's not a reason for you to give up. You still need to just push forward. Like there will be hard. It's not like a straight road. There will be ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. But like it's a bad day. It's not a bad business. It's not a bad life. It's just a bad day. If you experience one bad customer, it doesn't mean you need to shut down the business. It doesn't mean all customers are bad. It doesn't mean customers are terrible. some people generally are not good people, so in turn they also become terrible customers. Okay, so that's specific to one person. And the more you encounter customers, right, the more you put yourself in tight situations, the more you know the policies to make in your business. Like when I started business, I had no policies whatsoever. Anything goes. But when I started to experience customers and I started to experience certain situations, I started to put policies in place. Like if you receive a product that is faulty, you need to let me know within 24 hours and return that item so that we can either fix it for you or exchange it for you. But if you receive an item and you keep quiet for 2 months, you cannot come back 2 months later to tell me that the item you received was faulty, because a good 2 months has passed and I don't know how you use that item in that period of time. I don't know the things that that item encountered in that period of time. So definitely you cannot get an exchange or a refund on that item. So sometimes we don't think of certain policies at the beginning because everything is flat, everything is rosy. But the moment you begin to experience customers and their different ways, you begin to adjust your business policies. Very necessary, very relevant. And as a business owner, you cannot afford to be overly emotional with your customers. You cannot, okay? You need to know how to separate your feelings from the business. Like business is business, money is money, transaction is transaction, and you should be logical about it. So you need to know how to separate your emotions from the business. Do not make customer decisions because you are emotional about it, because if there should be any issue along the way, the customer is not going to remember that, oh, you did them a favor or whatever. Business is business, so there should be no favors. Just do it strictly the way that it should be. Your customer is not necessarily your best friend, okay? They're just being nice to you just because. But if there should be any issue in the business transaction, then you see their true colors and then you realize that they are not your friends. So keep your emotions aside when doing business. Good emotions, keep it aside. Bad emotions, keep it aside. Be logical when doing business. You can know your business policies and stick within the lines of your business policies. Okay, Timilene said, I need advertisements and product launches, and I need a lot of professional advice in every step. I have some apps coming out soon, but I can't relate their details here, okay? Advertisements and product launching. Have you considered hiring like a content strategist? Like if you want to make a lot of content or you want to do advertising, there are people that specialize in this aspects, right? Like marketing brands. There's some marketing brands that can help you with the marketing of your products from start to finish, right? They will tell you, like, based on the kind of app that we are releasing and the values of the app, what the app is all about, the theme, right, what the app focuses on, your color and everything about the app. They'll be able to tell you the kind of advert you need to do, right? There are some people that they need a lot of advertisements. Okay, I'm not a content strategist, neither do I run like a marketing or an advertising brand, so I will not be able to do it for you from start to finish because I'm not a professional, right? I can only give you advice, but I'm not a professional, which is why I'm saying if you want to do it properly, you should seek professional help, right? If you want to do your product launching, right, if something that you prepared for so much, there are ways that these people go about it, okay? Let's say if you want to do a lot of advertising, right? How do you plan to go about the advertising, okay? How do you plan to let people know about the app that is coming out? Are you using influencers? Do you have like a social media page? Do you push out content, right? Are you going to do physical advertising? There are sometimes like you're passing, you see people with flyers and probably they're wearing the like, let's say your color is green, you're wearing like a green top with the brand written on them, and they have flyers to share to people. Like, who are your target audience for these apps, right? It's like, let's say for example, when OPay was starting, when they went to businesses, they went to markets, right? Market women, those were one of market women were one of their target audience, right? So they went there physically to advertise OPay to them and tell them how OPay can be good for their business, how they can be able to transact properly. So who is your target audience when you're starting? Like, who are the people that you think are going to use your app? Who are the people you're focusing on? You cannot just say generally, like the general world cannot be your target audience when you're starting, right? who is your focus when you're starting. Now if you have a group of people that are your focus, then you can expand from there. There are some brands that when they want to start, they go to universities, right? University children, university students, because those are like their first target audience. So they go from university to university, right, to first get their customers. So what's your app all about, and who is your target audience? If you know what your app is all about and you know who is your target audience, I think you can start from there. If you're looking at mainly Gen Zs as your target audience, then even if you want to use influencers, you know the age of influencers to use. And you don't have to use like the most popular influencers. They are micro influencers, and everybody knows that micro influencers are more in touch with their community, right? You can see someone with 2,000 followers, but they have 500 people that if they post something now, everybody will go and sign up. Do you understand? There are people that are influential in real life, like they have a clique, they have like a group that they roll with, you get. So you cannot do all the advertising by yourself. It depends on how fast you want your brand to move. If you want your brand to move really quick, you cannot do the whole advertising just by posting content and all of that. You need people that will be like ambassadors for your brand. We're talking about marketers, maybe that's what you mean. People that will be ambassadors of your brand. It is very good to have, like, if you want your app to move fast, if you're getting marketers, or let me say ambassadors for your app, try to get people that are popular. And when I'm going to say influential, and I don't just mean by having followers, I mean people that have a group of people that actually listen to them. There are people that if they post a certain thing online, because they are credible, right, people will go there immediately and sign up. People will sign up immediately. I'm talking people that are outgoing. You might want to look at people that attend events, people that go to places, like social people basically. If you're trying to get an introvert to advertise your app, then you might be making a mistake, because introverts are not very sociable, right? But for marketers or ambassadors of your brand, you want to get people that are very social to be able to advertise your brand. So there's a lot I can say, but I cannot give specific advice unless I really know what your brand is about, what your app is about, and who specifically is your target audience. Okay, who is going to be helped by the app? Okay, who is going to gain from using the app, right? If I use the app now, like me as a business owner, if I use the app, is the app beneficial to me? The same way there are some apps that are tailored for hospitals. So if you want to advertise, you will need to go to hospitals to advertise your app, right? Because your app is more beneficial to people in the medical field, right? So who you advertise to, like your whole campaign, it depends on who your target audience is basically. So yeah, I think that's all I can say for now. Ashram Gil Ashram Gibraltar. Okay, nice to have you here. Yes, nice to see you again. I haven't gone live in like 2 days, so I definitely missed interacting with everybody, but it's really nice to see you here again on my live. I hope you're doing well. I hope that life has been good to you. I hope you've been overcoming your challenges. I hope that your health is in perfect condition. And basically I wish you the best. I always wish everybody the best, because I know that everybody goes through rough times, but my prayer is that even if you go through rough times, you come out of that tough time stronger than you were when you went into that rough time. I hope I hope I'm making sense. So I think I'll be rounding up the live soon. I shared what I came to share, which is how I started my online business without cash. And maybe another day I would share how I was able to go into production and manufacturing, right? I believe so much in production and manufacturing. Okay, like buying products to sell. Buying products to sell is great, but it's never the same as when you manufacture, right? If you manufacture, it's different. For me, it's just different. Okay, like if you manufacture, if you produce, like I feel like your brain works better, because now you're doing something that even if someone else has done it, you're picking something, like you're picking raw materials and you are transforming them to something else, especially if it's a customized order, right? There are certain customized order that we have to do over and over and over again. Do you get? Just until you got it right. If you produce, if you manufacture, you're able to turn raw materials into something else. And I believe so much in um creating our own thing rather than importing everything that we need. Similarly said, I've listened to your live and they are very good, only you write them down. I used to write. I used to be a writer, but right now, because of my work schedule and the place that I am in life right now, is so much easier. It is easier. It is more convenient for me to be able to speak, right? And I was saying it one time that I prefer to come on live and say what I need to say than for me to like try to edit the videos and post normally on on the channel, because it's more time consuming. But this is easier. Like I can just say, like as ideas are flowing, I can just say them from my head. It's so much easier for me than to write right now. Okay, so that's the point in life that I am right now. Okay, this is just my phase in life. I don't have a book. Maybe someday I will write a book, right? But for now I don't have the time for that. For now it's a lot of work. So yeah, coming on live is the easiest way I'm able to pass across information right now. I have a book. It said the app writes the word for you. Okay, offline, voice to text, and you can easily write with speech. I'm trying to think where is it like Chat GBT? Is it like AI? Okay, or it's something like, okay, like as I'm talking now, the app will be combating what I'm saying. Like the app will be translating. Will I say translating? Or the app will be captioning what I'm saying. Like as I'm talking now, the app will just be writing out what I'm saying. But that makes sense. That would be especially for people that want to write books. I think that really makes sense, because sometimes we are more expressive when we talk, right? Because what I would say in 5 minutes, I will use 10 minutes to write it, right? Because your mouth moves faster than your hand actually, and your hand will get tired before your mouth will actually even get tired. Okay. Transcripting. You are smart. That's what I was looking for. Transcripting. Yeah. Now that's very great. Okay, so is that the app that you want to is that the app that you want to market? Is that the app that you're trying to launch? Because if it is, then I think you need to be your audience needs to be people that either they write books or they write a lot, right? And I think content creators would even be one of your major audience, right? Though it's something that an app like InShot, right? Like if you're editing your videos, like InShot, CapCut, they help you subtitle the videos, right? But I think I don't really know how this app will work, but this transcripting, it sounds different, right? It's not like subtitling your videos. It really sounds different. So I'm guessing it's something that if you record your voice, the app will, so if the app writes out what you say, is it writing it out in form of a book? Like for example, now I want to write a book, right? Or I want to write like a speech. There are people too that also write speeches, like all these, maybe even MCs, I don't know. But I guess it's something like that. If you want to write a speech out, you can just the voice that you've recorded, or you can be talking while the app is writing. So I don't know, I'm just thinking about a lot of things, but I don't really know how it works in real life. But it's a brilliant idea. It's really great when we see a gap in the market, when we see a need, and we come in to fill up that gap. We come in to meet that need. It really means that you've been thinking. It means that you've been attentive. It means that you want to make an impact in society. Okay, because I know this app is something that a lot of people are going to need. Like for me, for example, even when I want to caption my videos, I still struggle. Like, to be honest, like for me, CapCut is a bit complicated, and I don't really. It's not like I don't know how to use it, but it's a bit complicated for me to use right now. So most times I don't even like to use it. So I still even struggle to find an app that can, subtitle my videos, my edited videos, which is why editing is such a struggle for me, honestly. But if you were to do something that makes it easier, especially for content creators, then that's fantastic. It is, like I said earlier, it is very great when we notice a need, right, a gap, and we come in to fill that gap. That's how like new inventions are brought about. Okay, there's nothing new under the sun, but if you can do something that will make life easier for people, then I think you have won, right? I think that you have cracked the code. If you can do something that will make life easier for people, honestly, that's something that I also strive to do, because people have a lot going on, and they will definitely appreciate whatever it is that comes to ease the burden off of them. Yeah, so good one, thumbs up, actually, like, good one. That's a very great thing that you're doing. That's a very great thing, honestly. Well done. Well done. Well done. Like, a round of applause for you. Literally. Like, you're doing well, and I really wish you all the best in your endeavors. Though like whenever I'm on live, you can always tune in. We can discuss whatever progress that you're having, or if there's any question that I can still help you with, or any of my knowledge that I can still share. Just anything that you might need. So I think I will be ending this live now, and whatever it is that I didn't say on this live, I will be sharing it in the next live video. So thank you so much, everyone that joined in. I really appreciate, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.